Kagurabachi has officially returned, and good golly, Miss Molly, Takeru is fucking cooking with us for this chapter. This chapter might actually be my favorite chapter out of the entire series so far. But enough of the chit chat, let's just dive into it all, and you need to dive into that like and subscribe button. But this chapter continues where we left off at chapter 16, with Chihiro and Sojo standing off against each other for apparently the final time. But however, I'm not so convinced, but I will dive into that all in a little bit. But we see the time counting down from 12 seconds, meaning everything that happens within this chapter happened within 12 seconds, because these boys are moving. They are moving around fast. But we get this beautiful panel of Sojo and Chihiro clashing midair, but also at the same time as both Sojo and Chihiro are sat down eating food also at the same time. Now, you might be wondering what the fuck is going on here, and at first I was a little bit confuddled also, but it seems as if every time Chihiro and Sojo clash blades here, they enter this sort of dreamlike world where they're able to read each other's emotions and their thoughts and just have an outright conversation with each other, basically. And the conversation that they're choosing to have right now is Sojo telling Chihiro about the delicacies he's laid out on the table. And, you know, it's a sign of respect for him. And obviously, it's typical Sojo fashion, being incredibly unserious about the situation. But he does start to get quite serious, saying to Chihiro how he was hoping to have a heart-to-heart, but all he could sense is Chihiro's bloodlust. And even going on to give Chihiro his respect and accepting Chihiro's belief of wanting to defeat evil and protect the weak, with Chihiro standing fast on those beliefs and telling Sojo he has no business wielding a mystic katana. Going on to say he watched his dad work every day. Sojo interrupts him right here, mentioning how he's curious about Rokuhiro's everyday life and wants to know, but then quickly 180s on it and decides, no, I actually don't want to know. He's already reached his conclusion on Rokuhiro and the sacred blades and the mystic blades. It's interesting to see Sojo waver from his convictions here and his beliefs in favor of curiosity. Like, this dude's entire presence throughout this series has been about mastering the blade and understanding Rokuhiro and the blade's creator, and now he's reached his answer on himself. During this fight with the Kamanabe, he seems uninterested in changing his mind, but there was that slight waver of curiosity there. But Sojo continues to state how the blade answered his convictions and it harmonized with him, and he gained slaughter. Now, I can only assume he's talking about this and his quote-unquote awakening moment during his fight with the Kamanabe here. He was pushed to the absolute limits in that fight there, and in turn, the blade answered him. It answered what he needed. He even summoned the blade to his side at one point there when he activated the Mei attack, which leads me to believe that as you grow with the blade, or one blade in particular, in this world, you become more in tune with it, and it acts more like an extension of yourself, similar to Bleach, to be honest with you. That's kind of the vibes that I was getting from it here, like I am the blade is me type thing. But we cut back to Chihiro and Sojo fighting in the real world here, where things take a very, very nasty turn. Sojo and Chihiro right here trade blows, which leads to Chihiro losing an arm, which is quite insane, because I mentioned a couple of chapters ago how damage in this world doesn't seem to just be able to be wiped away with magic so easily. Like I used One Piece as an example of Luffy drinking milk and just growing teeth and cracked bones being healed. It doesn't seem to be the case in here. So the damage that Chihiro had cured from his last fight with Sojo and taking the lightning strike had absolutely frazzled him, and he was in hospital recovering. He was expected to be in hospital for a long time to recover here, and Chihiro losing an arm here could be something that lasts throughout the series, which might be why Char is so valuable as a healer. Maybe healing magic isn't so commonplace in this world and actually is incredibly fucking rare, meaning any damage that is taken here to Sojo or Chihiro will either be permanent or will have to wait until Char can actually heal them. And even then, Char's healing of Chihiro in chapter 16 didn't actually completely heal him. So we could be looking at a Chihiro with only one arm for the foreseeable future, which is kind of wild. But we cut back to the dream world again with Sojo disagreeing that Chihiro isn't the only one who can speak for Rokuhiro. And originally he thought the same, but anyone can take on that role. And that's what makes this battle meaningful. And I love this because not only are these two clashing blades, they are talking out their ideals in tandem while fighting for their lives. However, time is dwindling, and we are now down from 12 seconds to now 7 seconds left within the fight. And as the seconds count down to 6, Sojo recognizes that he has only one option left. With only a small amount of spirit energy left, he doubles down on Mei that is cloaking his body, reducing his own time left in this fight down to 3 seconds. To do this, Sojo foregoes any thoughts of what comes next after this fight. He goes all in on this fight here in order to behead the enemy at all costs. And we go back to the dream world again with Chihiro thinking about what his dad had told him way back in chapter 2, that the blades are still just tools for killing people, and they aren't necessarily the right answer, and instead you're gonna have to look at the world through your own eyes. And with this, he seems to be decided that the blades should exist in this world, and he accepts that, and he recognizes that both him and Sojo now speak for his father, which is why he won't give Sojo any respect. Now, my own personal interpretation of this is that Chihiro recognizes both him and Sojo are two sides to the same coin. As long as they both wield the mystic katanas, death will always occur, which is more than likely the conclusion that Chihiro has arrived at, and the conclusion that the blades just shouldn't exist. But he also goes on to say how we will cut down Sojo with an even thicker bloodlust. And we cut back to the real world now when Sojo has had his arm also cut off. Now remember how Sojo just doubled down on the Mei that cloaked him and reduced his time? Yeah, Chihiro said, I bet, let's go fucking band for band here. And he triples down on the Nishiki cloak, making his own personal timer to just under 2 seconds here. Remember, this whole chapter, all of this is all happening within under 12 seconds, which is kind of wild. We've got a lot. So every move counts, going in for one of the final attacks from behind, and Sojo tries to counter it, similar to how Chihiro did it a couple of chapters ago. However, with just 1 second left, Chihiro releases the Nishiki cloak and activates Kuro, his ranged attack. And he lets rip a Kuro attack that slices through Sojo and the Mystic Katana Cloud Gouger. As this fight seemingly comes to its end, Chihiro has a look on his face as if he's kind of in pain with having to destroy his dad's sword and his work. But given everything that's happened, it may be the only way forward to him. But I am going to say, if Sojo dies, I will be straight up sad about it. His story and his character was really fucking good, and it was a villain that I was actually kind of rooting for. I wanted him to be a long-running villain against Chihiro. I would have loved to have seen them two grow in tandem, but as I said previously, healing magic in the series seems to be few and far between, so it's more than likely Sojo has met his end here, and I really hope that's not the case, but I guess we'll have to wait and find out in chapter 18. But there's always the possibility that these folks pop up and jump in to help Sojo. After all, Sojo is working with them to attain all of the blades here. But anyway, that is everything from me. If you haven't already, please be sure to like and subscribe. Let me know what you think of the chapter in the comments down below. And as always, I will catch you guys all in the next one. Much love, big fucking kisses, peace.